For many people, including myself, when you think of plastic and cosmetic surgery, your mind automatically jumps to Caucasians, most frequently Caucasian women. We envision lip injections, Botox, facelifts, nose jobs, and breast implants. All forms of plastic surgery are usually the norm for this demographic of people. Surprisingly, statistics have shown that although they are the slowest rising group, African Americans are starting to engage more and more in cosmetic procedures. According to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons statistics in 2011, there were more than 1,609,842 African Americans that underwent some sort of cosmetic procedure. This number represented 8% of all African Americans, and although it's a very small number as compared to the 69% of Caucasians that undergo plastic surgery, it's a 2% increase over 2010 statistics. There are plenty of famous African American women that make no denial of the work that they've had done, such as Wendy Williams, Nene Leakes, Little Kim, and Kenya Moore, to name a few. The real surprise comes with the rise of the everyday, around the way black mother, sister, or friend that is choosing to take on life-altering cosmetic procedures. This is a topic that I wanted to learn more about after one of my best friends announced she was going under the knife. Always one to make my feelings known, I was shocked when my girlfriend Jamila announced she was going to have work done. I couldn't understand it and needed clarity. So Jamila, when you went on your journey to Dominican Republic, what actual procedures did you have done?
I had liposuction of my back and my waist.
So what did that do? What did the liposuction do?
The liposuction is they put holes in your body, like in the back. I had 2 holes, and they stick a tube, and it's like vacuuming the fat out of you. So it's like it vacuums the fat, the tube. They cut me this way and this way. So that's what he did.
What's the normal way of doing it?
Just over your pubic hair, and they lift it up and pull it down.
Okay.
And then they split you this way, but they cut that part off because it's lifted down. But I already had that scar from the kidney, so when he split me this way and pulled it down, that scar still came down. And then they take all the fat out, and then they tighten your stomach in underneath the skin. They tighten your stomach and sew it in.
You said your belly button is gone. I'm not understanding.
Because it was lower. Yeah. Now, if your belly button's up here, they pull it. The skin before was up here. With the tummy tuck, that skin up here is now down here.
So they have to move.
It's gone. They cut that off.
So now, when they cut it off, did they cut it off and then put that same belly button back, or did they?
No, your belly button is nothing but a skin. It's either any or Ollie. It's nothing but extra skin.
So they made a new one?
They made a new one. They made a new one. Like, they made a new one. But then, like I said, since I had that additional scar, that was sewn. But why I'm here now is because that scar that was this way, it got loose. And it opened completely.
Do you know how or why it opened?
I'm thinking it got loose because you're not supposed to lift anything, and I had to lift my suitcase, which was, you're not supposed to lift anything more than 20 pounds. My suitcase was 44 pounds. On my way, 46 pounds. On my way coming back home, I had to lift it up for security, for them to weigh it. I had to lift it up at the hospital, at the airport. I had to take it off the belt. So that all contributed to it loosening it up.
Okay, and what other surgeries did you have?
I had a breast lift. I had a perky breast.
So you had a back liposuction,
back and flanks. They call it back and flanks. The flanks is your waist.
Okay, a breast lift
and a tummy tuck.
Mm-hmm. Despite everything that's happened, what do you think? How do you feel? Do you think that it was worth it?
I can't answer that yet.
Why?
Right now, I'm just like, I'm not blaming the surgery because at the end of the day, even all the surgeons, even the ones here, my actual surgery was a success. If I didn't have the previous surgery, I wouldn't be here. So I can't say, I don't know. I like my breasts now.
What made you decide to do this surgery? What was your mindset that brought you here?
To do this.
Why is that?
Because I've always wanted to get a tummy tuck. Because even when I lost a lot of weight, I always have flabby skin. And I've always wanted to lift up my breasts. They was hitting my knees in my way.
So this was something that was in your mind to do over a period of years?
Yeah.
How did you find out that the Dominican Republic does such surgeries?
I've known that. I've heard, I know people who went there to the Dominican Republic and had the surgery done.
And
people that went to Mexico too.
So I've never heard, I never knew about Mexico. I've heard of the Dominican Republic, but I've never heard of people going to Mexico to do it.
Mexico is another place. Colombia.
Now the doctor,
Brazil.
I know Brazil as well. The doctor that you went to, this doctor, was he someone that was referred to you?
Yes.
Did you? Okay, like, so for someone who doesn't know, is this like, are these doctors that you could find on the internet, or you do it through, like, how would you go about?
I got it from a word of mouth, and that's where a lot of these doctors out of the country you can get from a word of mouth. Now that after I did my research, I have found this website that gives you a lot of the doctors in Dominican Republic. The board certified doctors is this website you can go and make sure, if you do find a doctor, you can make sure that they're board certified in the Dominican Republic.
Was your doctor board certified?
Yes. And the plus about my doctor is also my doctor has a connection. Like the doctor that's performing the surgery now, he was connected for my doctor, because a lot of doctors in the States that are Dominican, they still go to conferences for doctors in the Dominican Republic. They have like a social network.
When you say your doctor was board certified, he can work anywhere, or he's board certified for the Dominican Republic?
For the Dominican Republic.
Let's say I decided I wanted to do a surgery with a doctor in the Dominican Republic. What's the procedure like?
You can call them or send them an email. Their assistant will get back to you, tell you the price. You have to send pictures over to them. And before you even get the surgery done, they have to do blood work. They check your blood work to make sure.
You took blood work here?
I took blood work here because I had a physical done a week before I left, but they also did the blood work when I got there. And they get the results back either the same day or 24 hours. They really check to make sure you're not anemic. They check your iron levels. They give you an EKG test to check your heart rate and all of that.
So where did you have the surgery? In a hospital or?
A clinic. The doctor is a plastic surgeon in his clinic.
Okay, so when you got there, you went directly to the hospital?
The doctor and his brother picked me up from the airport.
Okay.
And took me directly to his clinic, and I had my surgery the next day. We did blood work and EKG test the same day. And then I had my surgery done the next day.
How many hours was the surgery?
Like 5 or 6 hours.
And after the surgery, you were in recovery for how long?
We stayed at the hospital for 3 days. Yeah, 3 days I stayed at the hospital. Then they moved me to a recovery center. Well, actually, I went to a hotel where I have a nurse that came. 3 nurses came to the hotel and stayed with me 24 hours and changed my wounds. They cooked for me and everything.
And that was all included in your price of?
No, the hotel was an additional. The hotel was $80 a night. I stayed for 10 days? 10 days, yeah. $80 a night. And that was included in everything.
What was the pain like? Or did you have pain?
I didn't actually have pain until I got home. The whole time I was there, I didn't have pain.
Did the doctor come and see you while you were in recovery? Okay.
The nurse takes you back, and then the doctor check your progress.
Do you think that do you think that you needed to stay there longer to heal?
Yeah. Now I look at it, I stayed 13 days. I should at least stay at 15 minimum. Because the drain that they put inside of you, I had to come home with it. And a doctor here had to remove the drain.
So did the doctor in the Dominican Republic refer you to a doctor in the States?
And not everybody has that option. That's why I said my doctor, he does have connects. When you read stories on his website, I went on a lot of people who had surgery out in Dominican Republic. When they got back to their state, other doctors wouldn't touch them.
And why is that?
Because the state doctors frown upon you going out of the country to get this type of surgeries. So they don't want to feel, they won't fix you. They don't want to feel responsible. And if they do, they'll overcharge you.
Would you recommend this surgery for someone else who was interested in making changes?
I would.
So at the end of the day, despite what's happening now, are you happy with what happened with your surgeries? With your results?
For my results, I'm happy with it. But I'll tell you, I'll be more happy once this wound closes. But even so, because when I patch it up and put clothes on, I'm very happy with what I see.
Have you lost, do you think that you've lost weight?
I lost over 20 pounds so far.
And that's on a scale, or that's?
On a scale.
Now, so you see a difference in your clothes?
Actually, when I put my clothes on, yeah.
So all in all, this is something that you would say?
I would recommend it. You just gotta do your research. If you live out in the boondocks and you're gonna go to the Dominican Republic to have the surgery done, I would recommend that you stay the minimum 15 days to give yourself to have completely heal and don't have any complications when you go back home. Because when you go back home, you're not gonna, people in the States is not gonna assist you. Like I read a story, this woman lived in Saratoga, Florida. She went out of the country, Dominican Republic, to have a surgery. When she came back home, she had seromas. That's these things that can get in you if all your fluids haven't cleared out. No one in her local town, plastic surgeons, would not see her at all. She had to go to Georgia or another part of Florida, like drive 2 hours before to find a surgeon that would see her.
Well, thank you for the information. What I also like to know is, do you have any idea when you'll be coming out of the hospital?
Yep, tomorrow.
So when you come out of the hospital, do you think that we'll be able to get a before and after pic of you?
I'll see.
All right, thank you, Jamila. So today Jamila is with us for me to get more into why black girls do cut. I have a few questions I'd like to ask you about the procedure that you just underwent. First of all, can you just tell me what made you do it? What made you decide to have the surgery?
Because when I was diagnosed with thyroid, I kept doing everything to lose the weight, but I was diagnosed with a slow thyroid disease. So I gained weight, and I didn't lose any. And it got to the point that my stomach was rounder than a Spalding basketball. So I didn't like it anymore. I made it my business that after I graduated with my degree, I became a homeowner, that this was going to be my next change, and I was going to revamp myself.
How old are you?
35.
And are you married?
Yep.
Children?
Yes.
Okay, so what was your family's take on this? Family and friends.
Only one out of my family that knew was my husband. He was trying to talk me out of it, but then he knew it wasn't a surprise, because he knew I wanted to do it for so many years. But as it got closer to the day, that's when he started. Now he wanted to snitch on me. He told my mother, he told the kids, thinking that was going to change my mind, but it didn't change my mind. And my middle child, my oldest son, he's just like, whatever, mommy, I support you. My middle son wanted to pull out statistics and tell me how many people died, and he was just disrespectful, so I ignored him.
And what about your friends?
Besides you?
Yes.
Because you were the only one who was thumbs down about it. Everyone else was supportive. No, you were supportive too. You was just shaky.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the surgery? Did you have it done here or?
I went to Dominican Republic. I had it done in DR.
The surgeon was a great surgeon.
But it was just the communication barrier was really bad. And sidebar, my girlfriend and I went together, and she had work done also. Neither one of us speak Spanish, so I felt safer because I had someone with me, but it could have been a hostile situation. You know, we could have got kidnapped, but we didn't.
What made you decide to go to a foreign country?
Because of the course.
I did the research. You can go to the teaching schools, hospitals here.
Like Harlem Hospital has a teaching, and New York Eye and Ear Infirmary, they give you a discount if you have students and not the doctor. Students cut you open.
My total cost of all of my surgery was $5,500. If I would have stayed in the States, I would have paid $7,000 just for the tummy tuck alone.
Okay. Now, if you went to a teaching hospital, what would the cost be?
The cost for the teaching hospital would have been, it was $9,000 or something.
For
and
all?
that was just for the tummy tuck and the lipo, not the rest of it.
Over in America, compared to the Dominican surgeons and Colombia, they shape you better. Like in U.S., they just suck you out and, you know, you go about your business. But there, like, they mold you. The garment, the undergarment that they put on you, it molds your waist. And, like, right now, can I stand?
Sure.
Or, like, right now, this, my waist, like, I have no bra on. And it's all standing up perky by itself. Wow. Yeah. And the back, you see, and my butt come out. And this is what, just me now. I don't have the undergarment anymore. So they don't, in the U.S., they just suck it out and you go about your business.
This was my stomach before. Like I said, it looks like a Spalding basketball. This was my stomach before. And now I have nothing.
Can you just give us a little bit of information when you got to the Dominican Republic? What happened? How did it flow? What happened?
When I got there, the doctor and his brother picked us up. My girlfriend, it was a Sunday. My girlfriend had her surgery that day. I had mine the next day. They do blood work and get the result back to make sure that your iron levels is up, your white blood cell count, and they do an EKG report so to make sure that your heart level is good. So we had those tests done, and a few hours later they took her. Also, they collect the money, cash only. Cash only. They collect it up front, give you a receipt, and it's cash only. So then we stayed in the hospital for 3 days, and then we went to a recovery house and stayed there for the remainder of our time. We stayed there in total 15 days. Now, you should stay longer because they put a drain in you. And if you're not completely, like every day the fluids would drain out of you. And if the doctor doesn't feel like you're completely drained out, they will keep the drain in you. And me and my girlfriend and I had to return to America with the drain in us and see a doctor who's colleagues with my DR doctor in the Bronx. And he removed the drain when we got back here. So, and after a while, the drain is the fat sucking out of you in a bag, and after a while it starts to smell. Oh, that smell was bad, and it really smelled bad. So they take the drain out of you, and it feels so good when the drain is removed from your body. During the surgery, I didn't experience complications, but what happened is when you have the surgery, your tummy tuck, you get cut a bikini cut, so you get a bikini cut and then they pull down the skin and they reattach it. I had a previous surgery and I have a cut this way. So when the doctor pulled down the skin, it like irritated my skin. What happened there was you're not supposed to lift up anything and I lift up my suitcase twice on the way coming back. My suitcase was 40-something pounds, and I lifted to get weighed, and that loosened the skin. So days after, by the time I came back home, by the end of the week,
I have a picture.
this was the first. So the skin started opening, and then
It got infected.
So then it went to this. So, sorry, I had to go to the hospital, and I had to go to the hospital here. Went to North Shore out in Long Island. He was a colleague of my doctor in DR, so he saw me, and he put a wound vac in my body. It was literally a hole. You put your finger in it and everything. So they put a wound vac in it. It's like a vacuum that goes inside your hole, and it sucks up your deep tissues to bring it up. So then when it started healing, it started looking like this to come up. It's small now. Now it's completely gone. It's just a little line, and I'm going to use Mederma to let it go away.
Okay, so that was your main complication. You had when you came back, you had to go back into the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you, did you regret the surgery at that point?
Nope. Sure didn't.
So knowing that everything you went through with the surgery, would you?
Sure will. Do it again?
Yeah.
I sure will.
Do you and you don't have any regrets?
Nope.
So what changes have you noticed with your body since you've had the surgery?
It seems like every day my butt get curvier and curvier. And my waist, from when I had the surgery, my waist got smaller and smaller. Like, it's like Betty Boop meet Jessica Rabbit.
And what has been the reaction from friends and family since the surgery?
Yeah, everyone's ecstatic. They like it. A lot of people, if I'm happy, they love it. But now they really see, like, wow.
So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're happy?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for helping me to understand a little bit about why black girls do cut. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.